Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to talk about the 10 reasons why I decided to be an international student in Malaysia. So here we go. So before thinking about being an international student in Malaysia, I actually came here to visit around 2016. 1 year prior I came to study into the country and I fell in love, and a lot of the reasons why I decided to come into this country was because I visited, and a lot of them I find out online or while doing my research on it. So the first reason of why I decided to come here and study in Malaysia was because of the food. Y'all listen, if y'all have never been in Malaysia, you're gonna eat a lot. Malaysia has one of the best cuisine in the world, and the best thing is that it's so diverse. There's not only Malaysian cuisine, there is like the Muslim food, the Chinese food, the Indian food, and there's a lot of them available everywhere at reasonable prices. So you can eat from Chinese to Indian to Thai to Middle Eastern to Malaysian to Western food. There's so much variety on it and it's so good, I swear to God. There are many places, and Malaysians are known for the food. They are known for eating. Restaurants open 24 hours a day. I am in love with this culture and the food. That has to be my number one reason. The reason number two is cultural diversity. Malaysia has diverse cultures within the country. The main ethnic groups are the Malay people, the Chinese people, and the Indians. That are the main three ethnic groups in Malaysia. But besides that, there are that come to Malaysia. They are from Pakistan, they are from the Middle East, they're from Egypt, Yemen, Palestine. There are many diverse cultures in here. Also, there's a good amount of Western people that actually come and work or study in Malaysia. So Malaysia is one of the most diverse places in the world, I will say. And the good thing about it is that you are able to experience all these cultures without going to these countries, because here in Malaysia people are extremely proud of their ethnic background. They do celebrate their holidays that they will celebrate back in their ancestors' countries. So it's amazing having this type of diversity. I just fell in love with it since the first time I came into the country. Another reason why I decided to come to Malaysia was the nightlife. Malaysia has amazing clubs. They have many of them, bars, clubbing, 7 days a week they're open, and for me this was very important just in a country where I will live. I do love going out, I love going out drinking. So Malaysia has an extremely large nightlife scene and it's pretty good. I totally love it and it's a lot of fun. The prices aren't that crazy, so it was one of the main reasons why I decided to study here. It's because it's very important to me. Another reason why I decided to study in Malaysia is the housing. Compared to other countries where I've been or where I live, renting a room, renting an apartment, it's extremely hard. I'm not gonna say extremely hard, but in Malaysia it's extremely easy. The only thing basically they ask you to rent an apartment is like a passport photocopy and a deposit. You don't need a background check, you don't need the police report that you've never committed a crime. You just need basically the money. And contracts in Malaysia, by the law, I am not sure about that, but it's very easy to break contract with your landlord. So that's one of the main reasons why I had to come to Malaysia. Housing, there's many different options. It's extremely easy to find an apartment for yourself, find a room for yourself. The prices are reasonable prices. If you check well, you can find a good place and you can change easily. I actually changed my house in Malaysia 4 times I mean, since I've been here in 3 years. So it's extremely easy to finish a contract and go to another place. And I think this is very important, since you're an international student and you come here alone, finding a country where it's pretty easy finding a place where you will feel comfortable and safe. It was extremely plus for me.
Hello guys, so as I was editing this video, I wanted to add that I tried to keep this video mostly on positive things. These are the reasons why I decided to study in the country. There is incredibly great racism when it comes to the housing market in Malaysia, especially if you are black or South Asian. There are reports about it. You can find it online. So if you are of black descent or South Asian descent, it's totally an issue in some places. A lot of agents will ask your race and they might discriminate based on where you are from. So since I keep my channel pro people of color, my brother is half African. I have people that I love that are literally from different ethnicities. I just want to keep this clear and honest on my channel. I know I try to keep these uh reasons positive, but I just want to give the disclaimer that these things do happen. And if you're thinking on coming to Malaysia, I want to inform you that these things, such as discriminating based on race in how the housing market, do happen. It is disgusting, and sometimes it does happen because there aren't any anti-discriminatory laws when it comes to the housing market in Malaysia. It's not illegal to do this. I'm not saying this is the norm, but I say there are isolated cases where people will do discriminate you based on your race, and that's totally not acceptable at all. I had many good experiences when it comes to the housing market, but there could be isolated places, and I just want to inform you guys before you even think coming into the country. So let's continue with this video.
Another reason why I decided to study Malaysia is the language. In Kuala Lumpur, everybody speaks English, even though the main language is the Malay language. Everybody does speak English in Malaysia, and in private schools, the courses are taught in English also. So this was very important for me, that I need to find a country where I'm able to communicate, not only in school but also within the people. And in Kuala Lumpur, everybody does speak English, some more than others, but generally you can communicate with everybody. And it's a plus for me, since I want to study my course in English and I'm able to communicate with the people in this country. The next reason will be the universities. There are a lot of options when it comes to studying in Malaysia. A lot of universities have contracts with overseas universities like in the UK, Australia, America, etc. So your degree will count as a collaboration with them, and I really like that. In Malaysia, there are degrees that are just 3 years, which I totally loved it, and the prices aren't too crazy depending on the college that you will attend. So it was a total plus for me. But be aware, there are some colleges that really want international students. They want a big chunk, and they really don't know how to handle that many. So if you're gonna choose a college in Malaysia, make sure that to do your research. And in my opinion, I try to avoid colleges that have a large amount of international students, because that seems a little bit shady. And by the comments of my friends, there are some colleges that really don't know how to handle that many students, and it's an issue. So just do your research on type of school, on what type of school you like to visit, you like to attend to, because that's very important, because they'll be handling your visas, how you're gonna arrive. So you should choose the right college for yourself. Don't try to see how many international students are there. Then that's a little bit shady in my opinion. And to the next one, the living price in Malaysia, it's fairly cheap. I'm not gonna say it's the cheapest country in the world, but for what Malaysia has to offer, it's extremely cheap, housing wise, food wise, product wise. It's fairly cheap. Of course, some people, I'm on a budget every month, and I'm sure you'll be as well, since you're getting an allowance from your parents most of the time. But after being here a few months, you'll get used to it. And Malaysia has many options from food. Of course, if you want to eat in a mall every day, that might be a little bit more expensive. But since Malaysia has a big variety of food, supermarkets, housing and food, I think that Malaysia is one of the best countries for everybody, because there's a way that everybody can be extremely loyal to their budgets depending on Malaysia, since there's many options out there. Another of the reasons why I chose to live in Malaysia is public transportation. Malaysia doesn't have the best public transportation in the world, but it has a good amount of transportation. Since I was raised in a country where there's public transportation to everywhere I go, I am used to using the train, using the bus, using everything instead of driving. But in Malaysia, majority of people do drive, but there is a fair amount of public transportation depending on where your college is going to be and where you are going to live. I do live right next to the LRT, and my college has an LRT station. In Malaysia, there's LRT, MRT, and other types of names. So I think if you want to live in a country like me that has an okay public transportation, Malaysia is a great country if you live in Kuala Lumpur, as long as you can make sure that you'll be living nearby a train station or your college. It's great. Also, majority of Malaysians do drive. The jam sucks at certain times of the day, but if you try to don't move around those times, you'll be great. And public transportation is great. It's open until 11:30 p.m. and it opens around, I think, 5 a.m. so it's pretty good. The ninth reason will be the safety, guys. So Malaysia, of course, isn't the safest country in the world, but isn't the most dangerous country in the world. Malaysia, as what I've seen, it's pretty safe. You can be with your phone outside, you can be until 5 a.m. outside, depending on which neighborhood you're staying in. There is crime in Malaysia, of course, but I would say it's pretty safe, depending where you stay, obviously. But as my experience it is, Malaysia is it's a safe country. It's very peaceful. I don't hear much news about crazy things that happens. They do happen, but I don't hear much about it. And depending where you stay, of course, you need to be smart. You need to be knowing where you are at the moment. But where I live, and as my experience, Malaysia has been extremely safe, and the police have been extremely helpful when I did needed their services. So safety was one of the big reasons why I decided to come to a country alone, and I chose Malaysia. And the last reason will be the people. Malaysia has one of the nicest people in the world. There might not be the most polite people when it comes to cultural behaviors, but Malaysian people are extremely nice. They're extremely friendly. If you need something, a lot of them are very helpful. And I love Malaysia, and I love Malaysian people. They're so nice, they're so sweet compared to other countries. Malaysians, I would say, have one of the nicest people in the world. And I've been to a lot of countries. Malaysia has definitely one of the nicest people in the world. When I needed help from the police, the people, they've been extremely helpful, and they're being very sweet, and they are extremely nice. So these are my 10 reasons on why I decided to study in Malaysia. So let me know down in the comments if y'all planning to come here or y'all planning to study in another country in Asia. I would really like to hear about it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.